All right, Coach Hill,
How's it going?
Edinboro, Boro built. You are Boro built, right?
Yeah, I
Came
graduated.
through the program. You're an alumni. You're back leading the charges. Your third full season now.
Just finished my fourth season.
Finish your fourth. All right.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about last year. It's in the rearview mirror. Talk to me about last year, and then what's coming up next year for Fighting Scots.
Yeah, we had a full season this past year, so didn't go the way I planned. Obviously, expectations were a lot higher, standard was a lot higher. Just kind of came through the year, had some things happen, some injuries, and just didn't go the way I planned. But ultimately, I hate making excuses. That's just how I kind of built, and excuses are for a lot of things, but I just don't like to make them. So we didn't have a great year. We had one guy get the NCAAs, so that was good. That was positive. So we're looking to build off that and have a positive year going into next year.
So the tradition is rich.
Yeah.
I don't have to talk about like you guys are up and coming, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of a reload here.
Yeah.
But the tradition is rich. You're a part of that tradition. Talk to the recruit and maybe the Ohio recruit, but the recruit in general. Somebody reach out and say, what are they going to get from coming to Edinboro?
Yeah, the thing about Edinboro, it's a small community with big-time wrestling, and we like to sell that. We like to tell kids that come here and get a quality education. Very family-oriented. Me and Coach E practically live in the wrestling room in the office. We're always around if you ever need anything. The community support's huge. You walk in any restaurant, bar, grocery store, you're gonna have people talking to you about wrestling. So that's what we sell. It's a special place when it comes to the tradition and how it was built with Bruce and Deanna coming in and building it up from the ground, and then Tim Flynn taking over and with his extraordinary success with everything, and then just all the characters are along the way, the national champs and the All-Americans. So it can be done. We don't have to have all the bells and whistles here. We just need hard work and just putting the time and effort in and the passion towards it. So,
What I love from where I sit, at least as a fan, is this is a Division I wrestling program.
yeah.
And how many kids average in a classroom?
We have like 15 to 20.
15 to 20.
Yeah, 15
so you
to
got
20.
a small
Yeah.
environment. You mentioned a small community environment, but you got a small classroom environment, very hands-on.
Yeah.
You can still wrestle with the big guys, and you guys can go toe-to-toe with those big guys. There's mystique about being, Big Ten or whatever, but you guys go toe-to-toe, and you've proven it here before. So talk to us a little bit about the guy that might be like, you know what, it's Big Ten or bust, and if I don't go Big Ten, then I'm done. I'm hanging it up.
Yeah, I think it's a misconception of, where you land out of high school. What's the most important thing to you? Yeah, and nowadays kids love the draw of the big, social media posts, the giant crowds and stuff like that. But we have that feel here too. Lock Haven has, Clarion has it. We all have it. It's just in a different form. It's a different type of hype and stuff like that. So we can still bring that here. The big thing is guys at small schools like ours, is you kind of have a natural chip building. Like, I don't care who you are, what you've done in the past, you got a chip on your shoulder. And when I wrestled here, that's kind of the way we were. We work harder than anybody else. We can win at the highest level, and a lot of my teammates, we go to NCAAs and beat some of the top seeds. So it was fun. We had something to prove mentality, and that's kind of how I recruit kids and kind of make sure we explain to them that it's not all about going to a big football game on Saturday. It's having a close-knit community here that we can win at.
So you mentioned a couple other schools. You guys combining with a couple other schools?
Yeah.
Can you explain that to us? Because the average wrestling, moron like myself doesn't understand exactly how that's going to work. How does it play out to wrestling specifically?
Yeah, well, so what's happening right now is we have something called an integration between. There's 6 schools total in the Pennsylvania State system. They're going through it. Edinboro is one of them with Cal U and Clarion. And on the other side would be Bloomsburg, Lock Haven, and Mansfield. All Pennsylvania State schools. Essentially, they're consolidating, not doing anything different with the athletic departments, just rebranding, being more efficient is the best way to put it, just with like a company that's consolidating with another company. So I would say it's kind of the smoke's all clear. We kind of know where we're going with it. There's a lot of hearsay and things that people were saying what was going on with it, but Edinboro Wrestling, Edinboro Athletics is here to stay, and we're excited to see the future here with the new branding and everything, it's nothing much. We're still the Fighting Scots. So.
All right. Anybody going to U23s? What's the next step in the off season here?
Yeah, right now we're coming back from the MAC, from the MAC champions, NCAA championships. We'll have guys going to U23s, obvious, out in Geneva, which is only 45 minutes from here. We'll have a few other freestyle events we're going. A few guys should be going out to Vegas possibly. Then we have a few guys. We have a team going over to the Clarion Freestyle Duels. So we'll get like 3 to 4 competitions in the next 6 weeks here with some freestyle with our RTC and stuff like that.
All right, bring up RTCs.
Yeah.
It's all the rage right now, right? Social media goes crazy. Hey, listen, I'm a part of it. I kind of watch. I don't participate as much on Twitter and social media, things like that. RTCs are all the rage. You're either in or you're out. The rich get richer or the poor get poorer. What's your stake on that?
Here at Edinboro, I don't think there's a huge difference if we switch to local sports club to RTC. Only thing would be recruiting, getting kids on campus and training with us from that 250-mile radius. So for the most part, we're not having giant training camps with recruits here every weekend or something like that. So nothing would really change that much if we went to the local sports club aspect of it. And that's kind of the proposal right now. If you take them off campus, we'll just go back to the local sports club like it was back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. The big thing with us, we're not going to have full-time athletes training here. So the bigger schools like Penn State and Indian Lion Wrestling Club, they do. So when you look at it from that perspective, those guys get to train with Olympians and world medalists and stuff like that. So you can say it's unfair, but it's kind of an excuse, like I talked before. You got to make it. You just got to figure it out and win. So that's how I look at it. But I'm neutral. I know the MAC and the SoCon were the two conferences that I guess sponsored that legislation, and it's going through in the next few weeks. But the Big 12 actually had a more restrictive the legislation up. So, but I would say every MAC school has some sort of RTC. I mean, maybe not everyone, but all of them, maybe 2 or 3 don't. So for the most part, I would say it's not the end of the world. I can understand both sides of the argument though. And for me, I'm all for helping kids develop in wrestling and getting the best coaching for them as well. So, I'm not sure how to really think about it. It's a long discussion, but there's a lot of people up in arms, one side or the other. I can understand both sides.
You're going to continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going to let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
You're going to continue grinding on and getting graduating student athletes out of here, right?
100%. That's the goal, and we got to get good. I mean, I always express, you do better in the classroom, you're going to do better on the mat. It's just how it works. So if you focus better in the classroom, your wrestling gets better. So it usually never works the other way. So, but I mean, you can't do terrible in the classroom and then expect to do good on the mat too. So some guys do, but I'd say for the most of the guys, better in the classroom equals better results on the mat. So.
All right, one of the things I always like to ask a head coach is, because my wife was a wrestling mom, speak to the wrestling mom. Tell her what her son is going to get in that room down those steps.
Well, wrestling mom, starting when they're little, my wife's going through it now. I got a 5 and 7-year-old, and they get fired up, they get nervous, they have anxiety, and just remember they're out there just to have fun and soak it in because it goes fast. I'm already seeing that with my own eyes. Coming into a college program like ours, we're gonna have their back, but we're gonna push them. We're gonna expect them to learn how to fail, learn them how to, take those failures and turn something positive from it. I hope you kind of want me to be tough on your son. I hope you want me to kind of hold some standards to him. But they have a great opportunity when they go to any college, and just be thankful they're there because it goes fast. So yeah.
All right, Coach. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Thanks for letting me in the room. It's awesome to be here. I have a blast doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, thanks for
for
coming
you
out
to
and
let me in.
helping us out.
Yeah. So, anything else for us before I shut this thing off?
No. Watch out for the Fighting Scots next year. We're excited to get this team back on the mat. Long summer, ready for wrestling camps too. So let's go.
All right. Thanks.
All right.